friends, welcome back to my channel. We're here today with our first book review for the month of November. And this month, I'm still going after a lot of reviews this month. I'd like to review all the books that I read this month, but I'm not tying this to a number. I'm not announcing that I'm trying to review 30 books this month just because, we failed miserably with that goal in the past 2 months. We don't want to set up that as a benchmark on this channel. What we want to do is focus on the reviews and focus on reading the books and enjoying them and sharing that experience with you. So today I am here to discuss a book that I have loved, Her Honor by LaDoris Hazzard Cordell. This woman was the first African-American female judge to serve the California Superior Court, and she served during the the 90s and the early 2000s. She was a judge for about 2 decades, and she is now retired from the bench. But this book chronicles her experience while she was presiding and also some of what she has continued to do even after that career has ended. I love that although this woman is fascinating in her own right, and this is her memoir and she could choose to fill it however she chooses, she doesn't make this about her. I think that this cover is just so reflective of what the book is, because you see her, you know that this is a person and you can tell some identifying characteristics about her, but the focus is not on her. The focus is on what she does. So LaDoris Hazzard Cordell is fascinating in her own right. She seems to have come from a very strong family, and she mentions very briefly her origins, her parents. She was married to a man, they had 2 daughters, and she is now divorced from that man, and she's been living with her long time female partner for a long time. But this book doesn't focus on her life as LGBTQ. It doesn't focus on her personal life as much. It is about the decisions that she has made, the fact-finding process that has motivated some of the decisions that she made as a judge, and what she continues to do to change the legal system even after having retired from the bench. This is fantastic. Celadon Books reached out to me and offered me an arc of this book, and I said yes. And it took a while for me to get to it. So the release date was in early October. But man, I am hyping this book up now. I'm going to be telling everyone that I can to read this book. So this is me telling you to read this book. Check out this one for Nonfiction November. So like I said, this is a memoir, but it doesn't have a lot of personal information. It is about Judge Cordell's work. And because she sees herself as representative of the people and someone who walks into a courtroom and expects to see, the nameless, faceless white male judge in his mid to later years and feel no connection to that person, and then walks in to find this black woman. She talks about how that maybe changed some people's attitudes toward the legal system when they walk in to find that their judge is a black woman, considering that the incarceration rate and the disparity between the terms of sentences seems to be skewed unfavorably towards African Americans and Latinx people. And she talks about the nuances that are different in California versus other states, and what are some of the things that she tried to do to make the legal system a little more fair towards the people who walked into her courtroom. In this book, she gives a lot of detail about some of those cases. And like she said, she saw thousands of litigants, thousands of defendants walked into her courtroom over the years. But she chose some cases to discuss, and the cases that she does present in this book, she goes into a lot of detail about them, talking not just about the specific case, but also giving you a little insight into the law and how the law changes. She talks about what are some of the options that were available to her as the presiding judge at the time, or the sentencing judge, or the trial judge, depending on what level court she was working in at that time. She also talks about the appeals process and the appeals that certain cases made to the Supreme Court, the federal Supreme Court, and what the results were and how those results affected her decisions and so on. It talks about what she did. She tried to change the law, what she did to administer the law, and how even afterwards she continues to work to affect the legal system using whatever means she can. And as well, she talks to the reader, the everyday person who is not working in the legal system but has the opportunity to impact the system by your votes. And so she talks about some of the things that are still broken with the legal system and how we as everyday people, how we as voters can impact that change. This was beautiful writing, a wonderfully complex book, because like I said, reading this feels like you're taking a crash course in law school, because there's a lot of insight into the law, but it's not the legal jargon, it's not the very academic language that you expect when you read the law edicts. This is her interpretation of that law, simplified for just anyone who has an interest to read and understand. And I thought that this was a brilliantly written book, and I loved it. So it's about 320 pages or so. So it's entirely approachable, and I think that you should check this one out. So thank you so much to Celadon Books for sending me this ARC. I'd love to get a finished copy. I think this was published in hardcover. So this is my ARC. I think I'm going to gift it to someone who I think would enjoy reading this as well. But for now, I'm going to hang on to it so I can include it in some of my wrap-ups that are coming next month, my year-end books, because I could tell you right now that this is one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year. So, High Praises for Her Honor by LaDoris, Hazzard, Cordell. Hope that you check this one out. If you haven't heard about it yet, put it on your radar, put it on your TBR list, go check it out. And I'd love to know what you think about it when you get to it. So, it is Her Honor, and it's subtitled My Life on the Bench, What Works, What's Broken, and How to Change It. At the end of the book, she gives a 10-point list, things that she observed while she was working as a judge, things that still exist, things that still need to be addressed, and her suggestions for how they can be fixed. But she also knows that her suggestions are not the only or the best suggestions. So that's a starting point for conversation, starting point for people to assess and see how the systems can be changed. I love this book. I love that she acknowledges that all her decisions were not perfect, but she explains why she made those decisions, the limitations that existed for her then, and what she has done to try to right some of those things afterwards. I love this book, and high praises for it. Hope that you'll check it out as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Would love to chat with you in the comments down below. If you've read another book that is like a legal expose, something that's similar to this, let me know in the comments down below for me, and also for the benefit of those who would be reading the comments and may want to know other books like this to check out. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and until next time, happy reading. Bye.